Hi everyone, welcome to week 6, working in industry 2, effective communication with colleagues. If you're all here, I'd effectively communicate with you. So please try and come to the next Zoom session. This week was going to be a practice session for an interagency meeting, and just to get used to some of those roles. Ensure that in the coming weeks you look ahead or at your schedule, just to make sure that you're able to attend the Zoom session. One of the assignments coming up is an online assignment, and you will be assessed in an intra-agency meeting. Part of that is doing some research on some issues that affect young people in your area. You will represent an organisation fictitiously in your area, and you'll be presenting as that agency in an inter-agency meeting. So please endeavour to come online to one of the Zoom sessions just to get used to the process. I'll be assessing you live, so it's really important that you make time for that. Again, look ahead in your schedule. I think that's off the top of my head, that is week 10 or 11, one or the other. But you'll see it as, actually, I might as well give you a bit absolute information because that's my job, right? I think it's week 11, yes. So what you'll be doing is in prepping for that, in week 10, you'll start to develop and do some research on an agency in your area and a gap in youth delivery, and you'll report on that, what might not be available for young people in your area. You'll write a case study of people that you may interview or how you put that information together. You'll present that in week 11. So you kind of need to get that ready in week 10, ready to present to the interagency meeting online in week 11. So that's just a heads up there. This week, normally what was going to happen, we're going to go through, if more people are in class, we're going to do a bit of a simulated meeting. Great practice for people, but Amanda's here by herself, so I'm going to put all the burden on Amanda, but we will go through some key templates that we can talk about. Some of those are, now I'll start to share my screen just so I can pull all those things up so we can talk through them. All right, I should be sharing the screen now. You should see, Amanda, they should see week 6, effective communication. Does that come up yet? Good.
Yep.
We're on target. Okay. So, just gonna bring this over into your line of sight.
I think you can rotate that.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the rotating bit a little bit. Yeah. Where is the rotate? Can you see? You guiding me there?
Yeah, I think it's at the top.
Yeah.
Just go along to your right. Right.
Yeah. Which one is it? That one?
Not that one, the next one.
This one?
Yeah, try that one.
That's just full page. Well, we're getting there. What's that one? That one is, normally there's a little thing. Technical issues, always a problem.
Have you tried the hand?
I think that's just move it around type of thing. Don't talk to the hand. All right, that's not working. This is in PDF. I don't know where the tools are. Hang on, wait. What about this? Tools.
You went in tools?
Now, one of these measure stamp, signature, prepared form, custard, organised, compare. Yeah, right. None of those are the ones we were after. What do you do? What do you do? I'm going to have to try and make this bigger. No? No?
Because I looked at this earlier and I was able to but I was in a different program.
Yeah, for some reason mine has come up in this. All right, look, I'm going to look sideways at this because I don't want to stuff around. Sticky note. Oh, yeah, I'll be here for hours if I start doing this stuff. File, fit, view. Read, tracker, tools.
Rotate view.
Rotate view, thank you. We're going clockwise. P for perseverance. I love that. I think it was around somewhere. Or maybe it's just incompetence, one or the other. I for incompetence, P for perseverance, somewhere in between. So this is workplace communication. And so with this, we're looking at match the following issue in the workplace to the most suitable communication technique for that situation in order to solve the problem or issue. So these are fairly evidential. Informing a member of your team who is not in the office that someone has cancelled an appointment with them in half an hour's time. What kind of communication would be apt for that, Amanda?
Phone call or text message.
Yeah. I'd even put in an email. But yeah, but there's this way. It's kind of immediate, in other words, isn't it? Recording detailed information about a new client of the service for the records.
Intake referral form.
Yes. Raising an issue about one of the staff you manage with that person about a concern that you have with their work.
Performance appraisal.
Spot on. Writing what is discussed and the decisions made at a staff meeting.
Meeting minutes.
You're smashing this. Presenting what your organisation has achieved in the previous year and electing new management committee members and a chairperson.
Either the annual general meeting or a staff lunch.
Yeah. Well, staff lunch would be good. That'd be great. But no, in this case, it's an annual general meeting. So annual general meetings, if you're an NGO, so a non-government organisation, and especially if you're a registered non-government organisation, like a club, they're incorporated organisations as well. They're required to have annual general meetings every year. And so a lot of those places, you're in Melbourne, aren't you, Amanda?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like in Melbourne, you've got organisations, Salvation Army, which is a little bit bigger, but you've got other smaller ones like Melbourne City Mission. You've got organisations like Mary Outreach Support Services, Homeground or Hanover Support Service. They're all NGOs, so they need to have annual general meetings every year, and that's exactly what they need to do. I say this because a lot of people who might be watching a recorded session may be working for them, at one stage or another after they receive their qualification. And so that's the process that they use. Getting feedback about how people use your service and how they feel about the organisation.
Questionnaire.
Yep. And discussing a change in policy that will affect all of the staff in the team.
Team meeting.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest way. And I might have been an email on top of that as well to reinforce it. But yeah, so they're just different types of communication. So this is a combined meeting. Well, I need to get this up wherever it is. All right, so this is a combined youth interagency meeting minutes. So when we talk about what we're going to be doing into the future, this is what we'll be kind of doing. This gives you a bit of a view on the online assessment. In this case, these are the meetings, the minutes that were taken. It's something to go through and just kind of understand the elements of that. And so within this, we had Judy talking about Lake Macquarie gambling help. They were the key speakers. She's at Allera Lane, and she was from Ability Links, and so talking about people with disabilities. And then Bradley Dunn. Bradley Dunn was from CALM, Youth Development Officer from Lake Mac, which is, I take, Lake Macquarie. And so he was talking about the Bright Minds Project. So whoever was taking the minutes on that day, that meeting was held on the 7th of May 2015. The meeting was chaired by Bradley Dunn. The people who attended this meeting, see attachment. No attachment. But we can, that's, well, yeah, we don't know who attended. Normally we'd have the people who attended and they would be in there. In this case, they did an acknowledgement of country. And so we acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we meet upon, pay respect to Aboriginal elders, both past and present, and we pay respects to whatever Kulin Nation is in that area. And I'm not sure who that might be in Lake Macquarie off the top of my head. There are a lot. So, but you know, in your particular area, you might be aware of that. And whichever organ or area you work in, one of the things is become familiar with that really quickly, just so you can pay your respects to that Aboriginal elder in that area and their tribe and those traditional owners. So that's how that looks. 6.3. This is a typical minutes template. I think I put this up online last week. Yeah. And so that people should be able to see this. It's just so you get used to and understand these are the basic elements in every minutes template. So you put the date, the time, the place, who was there, and then the minutes. You know, these are the points: 1, 2, 3, 4. Any agreed actions, and when the next meeting and when it closed. What would accompany that, of course, is the agenda for the meeting. Normally you have the agenda and you kind of work to that. So these are talking about some of the roles of people in meetings. So this particular role, and have you ever been part of any of these type of meetings before, Amanda? With a chair or?
No.
All right. So normally in an NGO, the four main positions are the chairperson, then you might have the deputy chairperson, then you might have a secretary, then you might have a treasurer. So they're probably the four most common, what we call office-bearing positions in an NGO. Now, in a meeting as such, an interagency meeting, you're not going to have all that. But you would have a chair. You know, someone's always going to chair a meeting, and there would be an agreed person to take minutes normally. And that person could be referred to as performing the secretary's role. But the chairperson's main responsibility is getting the meeting through all the business. And so they're going through the agenda, making sure it's clear what decisions have been made, making sure it's clear who's going to do what tasks, keeping the meeting in order, stopping interruptions and any irrelevant information. So that's when people start yabbering on. So keeping it online. If you think about, a courtroom or some of those things, the wooden gavel, order, bring to order, please continue on. You know, it's that type of, not in that formal sense, but it's following that type of tradition. That's what the chair does, keeps everything moving and allowing everyone to be heard. They might be responsible for setting the next agenda and also to be discussed at the meeting. And sometimes the chair and the secretary will do this together. So helpful tips, keeping the meeting in order. So again, that's just about making sure there's flow and it doesn't go off track. It's the chairperson's role to make sure that the agenda is adhered to. At the end of discussion, summarise the main points and what has been decided. If the meeting has agreed to do something, make sure you've also agreed who is going to do it and make sure the minute taker has had time to take down the decision and who will do it. So the chair might be slowing down proceedings. So before we move ahead, we're just making sure we've captured that in the minutes, etc. Some of the things to avoid as a chairperson: don't make it your own meeting. You're there to guide the meeting, and so you're just there to ensure that that meeting flows. It's not your meeting per se, so don't take it over with your own agenda or your own personal views. Don't talk too much, like I am now. Don't let someone talk a lot because they're your friend or you're a bit wary of them. Don't ignore people who want to speak. So you're scanning the room and looking for varied people, so you want them to be heard. Secretary's role. So the exact work of the secretary will vary from organisation to organisation. It's worth having a discussion in your group to agree what responsibilities of all the committee members should be. And so the main things that the secretary are going to do is taking minutes in a meeting, keeping files of past minutes and any reports that might be tabled, letting people know when the next meeting is and any topics that that meeting might be about, helping to prepare agendas for meetings with the chairperson, and in most cases it's always left to the secretary, I would say. Writing and receiving letters on behalf of the group, so all correspondence, emails, collating everything, keeping the members informed what correspondence has been sent out and received, and in this day and age it's normally emails, as I said. Keeping a record of any members and memberships that are current or have ceased, and keeping a record of important numbers. Minutes, important job, of course, is a bit of a system, and you want to make sure that you capture the main points and don't, I suppose, miss out any of those main points in the room. So how fast you get them down is really important, and then how you then type these up so everyone can understand them, and typing would be the best way in the end. So you normally take rough notes, then type it. Then you distribute them via a normal email list to all the people who might be members. It might be people who are in the meeting or other people who can't attend the meeting, but you might have an email list of, a cast of thousands that these meeting minutes go to. So within that, you're going to make sure that everything's accurate, and also spelling, grammar, punctuation, spot on. A lot of people, as soon as they get to a spelling mistake, we'll send you an email back and say, what's this? And so you to always make sure everything is proofread by someone else, my suggestion there. Keeping all the minutes together in a file for future reference. So that's also the secretary's role. So good tips for secretary's role: file things quickly, have a to-do list, make sure you get a book or to record all correspondence the group receives, get a diary to record dates of future meetings, make sure you share information, don't take on everything, so delegate to other people who are on that committee as well. Treasurer's role. So as the name suggests, they're dealing with all the treasure. So any money that the committee has, but in this case, it's probably finance. So as a treasurer, you have day-to-day responsibility dealing with the money. It's your job to keep the accounts and report to the committee. So depending on how big the organisation is, you might be doing everything yourself with a little cash tin, or you might have an entire team of people. You might have an external accountant. You might have admin officers. You might have auditors, all sorts of people, just depending on the size. And so, but as the treasurer, you need to report to the board or that committee. So if you imagine most organisations, if they're a small organisation, there won't be too many people there. There might be 5, 10 people on the committee. If it's a really large organisation, they might have maybe up to 12 people on that committee or board, and then the treasurer is the one that reports to that board. That board or committee, they run the organisation. So you might have people employed. You might have a CEO. You might have general managers, all these people that fly underneath. But the board employs the CEO to run the business. And the CEO of an organisation, or a president, would report directly to that board or committee. And that's that structure that's in place. And so within that, everyone might be giving the treasurer information to report back to that committee. The whole committee should be agree on spending decisions and direction of the organisation. And so the treasurer is just responsible for ensuring that all the records, all those financial records are in place and putting forward to the committee and financial reports and taking on any questions. And sometimes they might not know the answers. So the most common thing you'll hear in a lot of these meetings is, I'll take that on notice. And I take that on notice means I'll get back to you with an answer. I haven't got it at the moment. So if you ever hear that in a committee when they say, I'll take that on notice, that means they're going to go off, they'll report back to you a couple of days, week, whatever the time is, with the answer. But that's what they mean. Why keep accounts? To keep track of money, to know how much you have available, to make best use of the money. Your records will help you work out how much money the association needs next year and then budget accordingly to help with the fundraising. And so basic rules for dealing with money: being methodical, keep clear records at the time of money which you have receive or pay out. Make sure that you have paperwork or any money which you can take in or pay out. Keep the group's cash separate from your own. My goodness, that shouldn't even come into play there. So do not hold on to large amounts of cash. Make it as soon as possible. Check regularly that cash in your tin. So this is dealing with a small organisation, equals the balance in your cash book. Make sure that 2 people are required to sign cheques. And most organisations would have a minimum of 2 people. In large businesses, there might be up to 10 people signing things, but 2 signatures are required from any of those people. Check bank statements carefully, yes. And then reports to the committee, preparing reports to the committee. Ordinary committee members. So these are just people who sit around and are part of making decisions. So they are to attend meetings, be interested and involved. Sometimes these meetings are quite long and, it can be very tiresome. I've been to many committee meetings, and, sometimes I've come home and I've aged a couple of years because of how long they go on for and the conversations that go on. You think, my goodness, get to the point. So, and this goes through that. Listen to others, participate fully, clarify points, consider others' ideas, voice concerns, act in the best interests of the committee, organisation or association, comply with the Constitution. So the Constitution is a set of rules. You might have heard of the American Constitution, but it's just like that. It's a set of rules that this organisation will comply with. And they make up a lot of those rules themselves. Most organisations in Victoria, well, they will work to the modern rules, and they can manipulate things a little bit, but really there's a certain set of rules that every organisation has to comply with. And so they also, they can fill, well, they call it executive committee spots, but I call them office bearing. So if you're a treasurer or a chairperson, or that, you're an office bearer. So some of the committee members can fill those roles at any time, and they can sit on subcommittees. Something might come up, they might say, oh, we need to get together in a little group and discuss that. And so they'll start up a subcommittee. Can you please go investigate why young people in the area are participating in drugs in this parkland area? And that subcommittee might do some work and report back to the whole committee, saying, this is why that's going on, yada, yada, yada. So it's like a specialised group to do specialised jobs at various times. We were going to do a role play, but that role play, you've lucked out, Amanda. There's no one else here, so we don't have to do that. And then I was going to go into, how did you feel when you carried out your role? What skills did you bring to your role in the meeting? How did you feel the meeting went? And what do you feel you could do to improve your skills in this role and in participating in meetings in general? Food for thought for everyone out there. I think if we had more people, that would be the crux of it. There's also supporting, this is from the YMCA, I believe, Code of Ethics Young Workers in Western Australia as a tool for ensuring quality youth work. Have a read through that. I think it was WII2, WA, Western Australia Association of Youth Workers. Oh, we've got a equivalent things here in Victoria, YACVIC, so have a look at some of their stuff as well. But have a look through this, because this is good as well, right? Let's not be shy. The Code of Ethics for Youth Workers in West, it's a very good tool for sport, for supporting quality youth work practice and for helping to clarify what youth work is about. So in your own time, please have a read through. This is, I think, supplied in the workspace. Is that correct, Amanda?
Yeah, because I've read it.
And what did you think about it?
It was really good, really informative.
So have a look at YACVIC as well. Mm-hmm. And the Youth Workers Association of Victoria. Have a look at those guys. And so they also have some really good stuff. Also, look at state government, Youth Central. Have you heard of this one?
Yeah.
All right. So, and Youth Central's got a lot of tools there that you can use. So between all of those, you can become, and once if you got through reading a lot of the documents there, you'll see, you'll be informed what's going on in the youth sector, but also through the tools will help, upskill you somewhat. Due to lower attendees, that's what I've got this week. How's that? It made it a lot easier, didn't it? But really, the main thing is the assignments. Through any questions for anyone, please give me a tingle. The assessment template's fairly explanatory. I did forget to answer a question for Tanya. If you're watching this, Tanya, what I just saw it tonight. What minutes should you take on which video to watch? You could have done that on any video. You pick a video, you take the minutes. It was just an exercise in taking minutes and getting used to that process. I will say you will luck out if in week 11, when we do the online assessment, the meeting assessment, I record all these sessions and I normally put them online. So for part of that is taking minutes. So you won't have to stress out about taking minutes, because I'll be recording the entire session, putting it online. You can watch that again and take minutes from it. That might help a little bit when we get to the online assessment. Just a little hint. But it might be good practice to take minutes in that role play as well. I'll put up some role play scenarios this week. Have a look at those. All the forms that I've gone through, I'm going to put online this week, just so you're used to them. They're nothing major. You'll probably find some other forms online if you've searched on Google. But really try and ensure that you go through this week's readings. Actually, I don't have to put them online. They're all there. The secretary, the treasurer, the role. Thank goodness. That saved me a lot of uploads. So what you see there, you've got the minutes template, interagency, secretary, treasurer, role, code of ethics. Everything's there. I'll retract that. I won't put anything up except this recording. I forgot they were there. So hop on, have a look, become familiar with it. Any other bits and pieces, but that's it for this week. Again, any problems with the assignment, please let me know. I'll jump on and answer your questions as soon as I possibly can. But week 6 assignment, don't stress. You'll do it easily. Goodbye, everyone. I'll see you next week. If not, I'll talk to you beforehand if you have any questions. Cheers.